Hi guys, Rock here with another World of Warplanes video. Today we're taking a look at the Japanese Kawasaki Ki-88, a Tier 6 Japanese premium fighter. This is a little different than many of the Zero-based planes in the game around this tier in that it's basically a copy of the US Bell P-39 Airacobra. It has a mid-mounted engine behind the cockpit, and the propeller is driven through a long shaft which contains in the center of it a very large 37mm cannon that hits very hard, although it has a very low muzzle velocity and a low rate of fire. So in that sense it's somewhat disappointing. It does very good damage when you can make it hit, but making it hit can be something of a challenge. We're starting out this battle. We've got a lot of high flyers on the other side, and there's 109Fs, the I-210, and both the P-38Js, so that could be something of a challenge. The Ki-88 has better altitude performance than most of the Japanese, but it's still not great compared to some of the other high flyers. Although it does do a very good job of maneuvering up at those altitudes, so you can kind of make that work to your advantage sometime. And although it has pretty good altitude characteristics, strictly speaking it's really not much of a boom and zoom fighter. You really kind of have to fight it like a hybrid, like you might a Corsair or a Spitfire. You can turn on some things, and other things you just need to outrun. But here we're starting out the battle, kind of fading toward the center, just trying to stay with the team and try and see what the enemy is going to throw here. I'm going to want to be watching out for those high altitude fighters first, and if I'm lucky I can try to engage some of them, or else draw them down and out of the battle. So we'll see what happens here. We'll forward a little bit. Got the initial contact here, 38J up high as expected, and a Yak 9 up here, a little higher than he probably should be. And I also notice he's kind of out in front, and so he's going to get marked as the first target here. And he's out. And now I still have not gotten embroiled in the battle yet, and I've taken one plane out of the game, so that's always helpful way to start the battle. So here I'm looking for the next target. Generally you want to start from the top to the bottom. This FW here looks tasty. I'm getting engaged, so I need to turn. With the cannons here, it's often advantageous to go head-on because you have a lot of forward firepower, and in a head-on it's generally easier to actually score a hit. And in general with most planes you're going to dish out more damage than you take in a head-on, so don't be afraid to take those. Can't keep up with that 38, so I'm going to try to engage this 109F here. Missed my swipe shot when he passed. He just passed through the cannon shell, so that's another side effect of the low rate of fire. And there I just missed. Should have gotten more damage out of him there. I can't keep up with those P-38s, so I'm trying to get some damage in when I can, when I see them. Another head on there. And again, notice I've gotten better maneuverability than him. Although my speed is not as good, and strictly speaking my altitude is not as good, I can turn with him up here, so I'm trying to use that to my advantage. And my teammate helps me out with the kill there, but unfortunately he gets dropped by a 38 who's paying very good attention. And things aren't looking good here. We're at a 3 to 5 at this point, so we're at something of a disadvantage. I can't chase that 38, so I'm going to try to dive down here to my teammates and try and see if I can't help my remaining teammates a little bit. 210 here is the highest candidate, and he's also in a tussle with my teammate there, so he gets marked first. Take a round look at that 38. Yeah, I was afraid of that. He got a lot of hit points out of me there. That's not good. And I try to turn on him, but of course he breaks off and he's gone. No sense in chasing him any further. Back to the other targets. I managed to do pretty well in this battle, and one of the reasons is just keeping track of the battlefield kind of in your head in the 3D space, and keeping track of who's where and what you need to deal with and when. And you really have to be aware of what's going on and also not afraid to switch targets when it's called for. And I've got that FW chasing me now, that's not good. But this T-38 pops up right in front of me, so I can finish him off, take one more enemy out of the fight. and then I can flip around on this FW who spent all his boost coming up after me. So now we've managed to even the odds. We're down to a 3v3. This is a much better situation for us to be in. Unfortunately, they've got a little more altitude capability than we do right now. Trying to see if I can finish. The cannons, although they're nose-mounted, are not very accurate. The low rate of fire makes them a challenge. I was joking with somebody, kind of said that, you know, you have to sort of schedule your cannon hits during the previous battle. But with a little finesse and a little bit of experience, you can kind of make them hit now and then. It really helps to turn your wings in the direction of the target. That makes lining up the shots somewhat easier. But even so, you just kind of have to anticipate where the bullets are going to be, how they're going to fly, and watch the tracers. Don't just focus on the lead reticle. But the last enemy is this 38, and I just don't have the speed or the altitude to really get up here with him. Trying to maneuver around and get a shot, but it's a challenge. And he can just walk away from me. And my boost is spent here as well, so I've got an additional problem. As I notice here, this friendly 109F is just walking away from me. He's much faster than I am. So I'm just up here chasing the 38 because there's not much else to do, and in the meantime trying to cool my boost a little bit so I can try to make the most of an opportunity when it presents itself. Unfortunately, my teammate has gotten there away from me and managed to dodge another pass. I can't really get around quickly enough to get in much damage. In fact, I don't even land a single shot there. And I'm trying to take some of these shots at range. The chances of actually connecting are pretty low, but they do have an effect of he will still see the tracers flying by, and he'll keep running for a little bit. If I'm lucky, I can force him into the autopilot over here and hopefully get a shot. Or at least in the meantime, cool my boost a little more so I can use it when he actually comes around. See if I can pull up. No, I didn't pull up fast enough to get a good shot in. He finishes off another teammate there. Good work. I do get a few hit points off of him here, but still can't finish him. And he's got much more speed than I do, so he's just walking away now. And my guns are cooked and my boost is gone, so not much I can do except chase now. Trying to get a finish here. I realize at this point is I've gotten 4 kills, so if I'm lucky I can get an ace. Now we do have the supremacy advantage here, and there's not much. Battle is more or less decided. He is going to come around and try to finish me off. I'm going to go head to head and hope I get lucky, and yes, just barely. So there we go. Alright, thanks for watching guys. Good hunting. See you next time.